Good evening. So I call this meeting of the Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. So if everybody please stand, Dr. Moffitt is going to lead us in our invocation.
So please join me in prayer. Father God, thank you so much for just the love and the grace and just your mercy that you show us every morning. Thank you that we get to be a small part of leading this district. We just pray for our district. Just help us to make wise decisions and lead us in a way that glorifies you, and just let our heart be your heart. Thank you for the cross. Thank you for the joy and the hope that we have in that and in nothing else. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Presley, you want to come lead us in our pledges? And we'll do the American first and then the Texas after.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. And you can stay up here.
All right, well, thank you to Dr. Stevens and the board for allowing me to recognize Presley today. We are very excited to have her as our Student of the Month. She is a fourth grader at Lyon Elementary, and she has been there since kindergarten. She's the daughter of Lawrence and Amanda. Mom is here, Dad is offshore. She has two brothers. One is at baseball, Lincoln, which we have seen up here at our board meetings, eighth grader at Magnolia Junior High, and Bodie is in second grade. We also have lots of friends and family here, aunts, uncles, grandmas, a lot of people, a lot of friends from Lyon also supporting today. Presley is an outstanding student with such a caring heart. She participates in our 4-H program and loves her chickens. At our last show, she won grand champion, and she earned $10,000. But raising chickens is a family tradition, I'll just tell you that. She also plays sports outside of school, including softball, basketball, and volleyball. But if she is an all-around athlete, if you look at all the 12 championship rings that she has, you can probably tell that softball is her favorite. She was not always this super confident girl that did both pledges at last-minute notice, but she used to be very nervous and anxious about coming to school. Mom contacted me, and so before she started kindergarten, I let her come around and play on the playground. And to attest to her pushing herself, this past year, the fourth grade program, she signed up to do a speaking part, which she was very proud of herself for because she had never had the courage to do that before. When I asked Presley about what she wanted to be when she grew up, she says that she wants to be an orthodontist. So I said, that sounds like a pretty good career for a person that is so great at math, which is her favorite subject. And this shows in all of her academic performances, including an almost perfect score on her third grade STAR test and master's level performance on her math and science summatives all year. When I asked her about college, she said that she might want to attend A&M or University of Texas, but don't worry, I got her set up on that, and she actually told me here, she said, you can cross that out if you want. But after hearing all the wonderful things that her teachers had to say about her, it was an easy choice for us to pick Presley, and we're so excited to congratulate her tonight as our Student of the Month.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Valinsky, you want to?
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Stevens, Mr. Blizzard, and our Board of Trustees for allowing us to recognize these students tonight. Unfortunately, Jesse James III is not with us tonight. He had some unforeseen circumstances. However, his grandfather is here, which is a perfect replacement. He did offer to do the pledge, and I told him that we've got that covered. So Jesse James is a sixth grader on our campus, and he has been with us for fifth and sixth grade. In fifth grade, he, from the very first day, started greeting us at the door with a high five. And he has continued that every single day. When I see him in the morning, I get a high five. If he sees Mr. Arnold, he gets a high five. He can light up any room that he walks into. He has the grades. He has the integrity and the compassion and kindness that we look for in our students. But most of all, he is such a well-rounded kid and so balanced that we were so excited to choose him for tonight. He does play baseball, and he said that is mostly to keep his eyes off of the phone. He also said that he would like to tell future BBI students that you're going to love it here. Just be kind and generous in all that you do. He would like to study at A&M or Texas Tech for marine biology. He loves to fish. Mr. Quinn, please keep a place on the Bass Dogs open for him. He said that he will be on Bass Dogs when he's in high school, and I believe that he will achieve that. His favorite subject is science, but he really enjoys choir as well. He's looking forward to singing at the Astros game in May. Just a couple of things. I had lots of teachers give me things to say about him, but I will not read all of those to you, but I am going to read a couple. They're from past teachers, current teachers, and many of our support staff across campus. Our nurse, for example, said, "I am so excited for Jesse. Every time he comes into the clinic, he's very respectful and kind. He's been in the clinic when another student needed help carrying items, and he jumped without hesitation to help that student to class. Another time when there was a student who was hurt, Jesse comforted him and gave him lots of words of encouragement. He truly has such a sweet spirit." His science teacher, who is, I think, his favorite, said, "Jesse is the perfect example of our BBI character traits. One of my favorite things about him is how he doesn't let unexpected conflicts derail him from his goals. He knows how to work hard and persevere, which is an amazing life skill to have in 6th grade. He also won first place in his category at the science fair this year. He is a leader inside and out and sets amazing examples for his peers." We're super proud of Jesse James III and can't be more excited to have him represent our campus tonight.
This is for you. Congratulations. And this is for Jesse.
Jesse, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Wanted to recognize you guys. We, as you guys, most of you know, we nominate one per school campus every year. So you represent your campus for the whole year, right? So it's a big honor. So thank you for that. We appreciate that. And we want to thank America's ER for what they do to help us with you guys. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You know, Mr. Blizzard, in the future, I think we need to have an outstanding grandparent of the district, week for some of them here. You'd be a great candidate for it. We're glad you were here tonight.
Okay, I got ahead of myself trying to give them certificates too soon, but hopefully that came together all right. Thank you. Good job. All right, Dr. Garza, you're next, I think.
All right, well, good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce our March Teacher of the Month, and our winner this month comes from Bear Branch Junior High. This is Mrs. Mitzi Martinez. She teaches ESL classes for us at the junior high and works with a lot of our newcomers to the country and to the district and so forth. Does a great job. Ms. Finghouse is very complimentary of what she does for our campus. When we visited her room and told her that she won, her kids were, I don't know if they're probably more excited than she was actually. They were pumped up, so that was really cool to see. A different path to getting here. This is her 3rd year at the district, but she spent the first 12 years, I believe, teaching in Puerto Rico, where she is from. So that ESL, that working with kids from other countries is kind of inherent in her. So we are blessed to have her in our district. Thank you so much for what you do for us.
All right. So, Dr. Stevens, Mr. Blizzard, members of the board, thank you again for having us out. I've got a list here of all her fans who are joining us tonight. So, her husband, Josian Caraballo, is here, and he actually works in the district as well over at BBE. Her two kiddos, Kaylee and Caleb, also go to school in district here. And her parents, all the way from Puerto Rico, are here. They are sitting in the back, and they have come to join us this evening. Thank y'all for being here. We sent out a survey to our staff to see who they might want to see represented tonight for our campus, and it was very clear that Mitzi makes a large impact on our campus to many of our teachers. You may not realize that, but just the heart and passion that you put into your work and into our kiddos, not only the kids you teach, right, but all of the kiddos that our teachers are seeking help for and how to reach kids and how to better serve our kids. You were always there with an open mind and an answer. And if you don't know it, you find it and you seek it out, and they truly appreciate that. So for that, Mitzi, we thank you. And just so y'all know, she has a secret hidden talent, and that is being artful. And if you are ever in a door decor contest against Mitzi, you're going to lose, just so you know. Congratulations. Mm-hmm.
Junior high is a really interesting, has a really interesting ambience. Students are just in that moment where they're trying to find their identity. They're learning about different cultures, and especially the ESL classroom. I have so many multicultural backgrounds in one classroom, and I want to be there for them and give them that support they need at this age.
She has the magical way of connecting with kids on a personal level. It may be the language piece, but I think a lot of it is her personality, and these kids know that she truly, truly cares for them.
I would not change this profession for the world. It is something that is so rewarding to me. I go home and I'm already planning what I want to do the next day. I see what happens in each day, and I monitor and I adjust and I bring something different the next day because I want them to have a new experience each day in my class.
Ms. Martinez is an asset to our district and to our school, both in 7th grade and 8th grade across content areas. She has done an amazing job with our EBs and our English as a second language. She does pre-teaching vocabulary, she does differentiation, she's held TELPAS nights to pull families together to make them feel part of our school. And so she just has an all-around passion for seeing kids grow.
Ms. Martinez really takes the initiative to bring in our community and our parents as well. So she has started our EB Parent Nights here on campus. We had 2 last year and 2 already again this year. And we've had a really great turnout, and I think that's because she personally picks up the phone and calls every single family to invite them, to let them know that this building is open for them, and just really creates a space that is welcoming to all.
She's very genuine, she's very sweet, she's caring, and she's passionate about what she does.
She always has a plan, and if she doesn't know the answer, she's going to look it up and find it for them so that it's something that they can easily implement.
As they learn the new language, I can see how they grow both socially and academically in their lives. I can see the results at the end of the year when I can see them talking English and coming back to me. Even students who have left and gone to high school, they still come back and say, "Thank you, Ms. Martinez, I learned so much with you." And I think that's the reward of it all, how you see them grow. I get to see that whole growth process, and that's part of my reward.
Ms. Martinez, congratulations once again. We have a lot of gifts for you, sponsored by MEF tonight, so once again, congratulations.
Hey, Dr. Garza, can we get Miss Martinez, have her entire family come up for some of this photo, coming up here? And my goodness, we have parents here from Puerto Rico. You've got to come up and get your picture made up there. I mean, this wind up being parent-grandparent night, so. Thanks, Ms. Martinez, for all you do for our kiddos, making Bear Branch Junior High a special place, all right? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Hey, we got Rotarians here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I wasn't sure what you were pointing at.
They're
We've
right there in
got
the front row.
a special presentation tonight from our Magnolia Rotary Club, and Glenn and the guys, y'all come on up.
Good, you can hear me. I want to thank the board and all the audience here for accepting us and allowing us to make this presentation. Every year, we try and do one major project in the area. And Rotary has 7 major theme areas. 2 of those, one is education and one is the environment. And given the amount of growth that's going on in this area, we thought that the project this year ought to really focus on both of those. And so this project, what I'm going to show you today is 1/3 of the project. And the presentation is an EnviroScape. What that is a visual tool that allows you to illustrate point source pollution, non-point source pollution, watersheds, and help illustrate ways of doing better land management. So we bought 2 of these for the school system, one for each of the intermediate schools, although it could be used at any level. The other parts of the project, one was a workshop where we brought in teachers and some of the high school kids and some college kids and focused on ways of teaching about wildlife, water, and soils, all major resources for our area. And the third part of that is going to be a site visit by about 60 sixth graders into 2 different, one Unity Park and one in the reserve, where we will illustrate visually different aspects of those 3 theme areas. But this one, the way it works, you basically use things like Kool-Aid to represent pesticides, fertilizer, use cocoa for soils, and sprinkle it as you would, let the kids actually do the sprinkling, sprinkle it as you would on your lawn. A little bit is good, a lot is better, right? Well, that's the point we're trying to illustrate to them, that's not better. And so it's a visual way then of them seeing how they might manage their land, and also it ties into their TEKS requirements, 6th grade and 7th grade TEKS requirements. So it kind of enhances the program that already is in existence. The next step is this is rain. You will rain on the land and see where the water goes. And of course, it all is going to go down to your waterways and ultimately down in this area, ultimately down into Galveston Bay. So that's the major point of this particular tool. And that's basically the sum of what I wanted to present to the board and to you folks. I think you'll find it's a very good tool to visually enhance what you're trying to teach them in books. And the kids have fun with it too, because you get them involved in actually doing the activity. Are there any questions?
Glenn, you say there are 2 of these, right? One for
We got one for each of the middle schools, right?
Perfect.
All right.
And can we get you to come demonstrate it sometime when we first get it out?
I think Cherie knows how these operate. I'd be happy to do it. I've had one for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and it always is a hit.
Great. Any other questions, board?
All right.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what my Rotarian status is. I'm a delinquent Rotarian, as they know, but I want to thank you guys and gals, part of that, for your involvement with education and the projects that you come up with year after year. And we thank you, and I know this is going to make a difference for our kids in our science curriculum at those intermediate schools, and we appreciate it. And we look forward to sharing with you some of the successes it's going to have in those kids in the classroom. So thanks so much for that, from the school district and from our board.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
So thank you. We're spoiled with some treats and some flowers each week. And I wanted to point out that tonight the treats that were given to us were by the Magnolia High School Advanced Culinary students in Miss Gentry's class, and the flowers were provided by Magnolia High School Advanced Floral Design students in Miss Thomas's class. So thank you. We appreciate you.
All right, sir. It's come that time. And so I'm going to make this as brief as possible, but a couple of months back, I shared with our trustees that I think the time has come for me to kind of move into that next phase of retirement and to step down from this role. And so, Mr. Blizzard, I'm going to officially tonight tender you my resignation that will be effective at the end of this school year. So I'm not gone quite yet, but I'll hang around till we get through the end of this year. But it allows you to get a process started to find the next person to be here to replace it. And I said I don't want to get. It's been 42 years in public education. It's been my life's work, and the last 14, I have been so blessed. It's been such a privilege to serve as the superintendent of this great district. And you know, obviously, I don't know that I don't know if our work will ever be finished in the dream of building the best district in the state of Texas here, but I certainly hope we made some inroads to it. I'm so proud of the people that I had an opportunity to work side by side with, and this board, other iterations of our board, the past some wonderful trustees and people, and all the administrators and teachers that we were so blessed to have together in this district. And I certainly hope that as we look back at what your life's work has been about, and particularly in this place, you know, if it can be a barometer that will measure that in any way, that somehow we're able to look into the lives of the kids that have come through our system and that we've made a difference for those kids. And if we can say that, I can you know, comfortably move to the next portion of my life knowing that this was all worthwhile. And so thank you so much for allowing me to serve here. Again, I'm going to continue to keep moving us on and close this school year out, but it has become time for me to figure out what that next phase of life is going to look like. And I'm looking forward to spending a little more time with that gray-haired young lady back there. And but stand up, Becky, let everybody see who you are there. There she is, right there. Okay. So, I want to publicly thank her for allowing me the time to be able to commit so much time and energy to this district. Thank you for that, for all the time that I wasn't there. So anyway, that's all I had to say tonight. So.
Thank you, sir. You know, anything we say wouldn't do it justice tonight, but and we're going to have plenty of opportunities to say thank you before you're gone. The first thing I did when I heard from him was try to talk him out of it, and that didn't work. And you mentioned your bride. She taught my kids. My kids are college grads, and she taught them kindergarten. So, You guys go way back. I mean, I see a couple other board members out there in the crowd, and we haven't known any other superintendent. So, and we wouldn't have wanted to know any other superintendent for these past number of years. So it's just been a true honor and a blessing to have you with us, and just a solid rock for our district. You know, culture and values, these soft things that you can't get your head around, emanate from leadership. I mean, when you go to a place, and I've been to several, when the culture and the values are messed up, you can usually look to the leadership for that. And so that's one thing we're extremely pleased. That's why we do what we do. We serve because we love this place and we love to give back in some way. We've all had kids or have either gone through or are going through now. But it's because of the culture and the values of this community. And you've been a big part of that. So we just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Anybody else, feel free to speak up.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Okay. That was more than we could stand in one evening, I think. We're going to take a short break, and anybody that wants to leave can do so. If you want to stay for the business part of the meeting, you certainly can. Thank you. Okay, we're back. Thank you. Ms. Hinkleman, I know we've got a few signed up to speak. Do we have any others? Okay, thank you. All right. I'm going to read something that we need to read before the speakers go, and then I'll call each of you up. But anyway, participants must have turned in a request form 15 minutes prior to the start of this meeting. Participation is limited to 3 minutes. A timer is provided on the screen located in front of you. Once your time is up, we ask that you please return to your seat, and any complaint or charge brought against an employee by name opposition for which resolution has not been sought in accordance with policy should be pursued through the district's grievance policy. Please note that the Board of Trustees shall not deliberate, respond, or make decisions regarding any subject that's not included on the agenda that is posted. So, we'll get started here, and I've got a few of them, and the first one is Miss Ginger Russell.
Hi, Board. My family has needed me for the last few months, so I haven't been able to come. I wish it was easy to talk to people who you think are like-minded, who are Christians and call themselves Republicans, regarding the situations you find that are counter to American exceptionalism and values. I've been trying to expose the IB program for a number of years here. And I don't know if you've watched the TV stations and the news, how diversity and equity inclusion is destroying the United States of America and corporate America. Texas passed a law last legislative session that our college universities will no longer have diversity and equity and inclusion offices. According to the Republican platform that we adopted at last session, in Plank 114, it says, we oppose the use of national and international standards in the state of Texas, being one of them, the International Baccalaureate Program. On the back of our platform, it says we suggest the withdrawal of the International Baccalaureate Organization. This is the International Baccalaureate Organization's diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. The purpose of the statement, clarity as to what the IB stands for in relation to diversity, equity, and inclusion. When making day-to-day decisions on matters relating to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they bullet point their aims for accomplishing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the IB will embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in our work. Here is another paper from the IB program, Learning Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Our Programs. Now, the mantra goes sometimes like, well, we don't teach that here at Magnolia ISD. And so I pulled up their financial records and their tax statements. And it also states in here, the IB develops the curriculum for all the IB programs. So unless you're rewriting your program, you're not following the IB laws. I wish it was easy to talk to y'all about it. Fortunately, we got a new Republican county chairman who worked with me in getting this IB resolution passed at the state level. She will be working with me again at the next biennium and exposing the IB program in Magnolia, who is the only district. I'm not a liar, as I've been referred to outside this at the voting polls by a former board member. If any of you ever want to come speak to me about this, please do so. I'm open to talk to you. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Sophia Diffie.
Good afternoon. This was our proposal made to our school principal with a few updates. Unfortunately, we have to take the next step to bring awareness to the discrimination my girlfriend Lola has faced throughout our efforts to allow her nomination as king or a third sovereign position. Our appeal is grounded in the belief that our school should promote inclusivity and equality, reflecting the progressive stance taken by 50 schools nationwide. These institutions have celebrated same-sex couples on their prom courts, recognizing their achievements and contributions irrespective of sexual orientation in their individual campaign. For instance, nearby Tomo Memorial High School proudly allowed a nomination of a same-sex couple, highlighting a growing acceptance and celebration of diversity. Some districts have even introduced a third gender-neutral sovereign title to accommodate all students, showcasing that tradition and inclusivity can coexist harmoniously. The primary objection we've encountered is the tradition of nominating male and female pairs with absence of written requirements for school events. However, we believe the senior class should have the freedom to nominate any king and queen they feel represents them best without gender restrictions. This stance is not only about challenging norms, but honoring the diverse student body at Magnolia West High School. Our proposal does not seek to overthrow tradition, but rather to expand it, ensuring that every student has the opportunity to be recognized for their contributions and achievements. Our request is backed by significant support from 500 students and faculty members who envision a more inclusive future at Magnolia West High School. This movement for equality is not isolated. Schools across the country, including Penridge, Kings, and Bora, have led by example, demonstrating the acceptance to enrich the educational experience and foster a supportive community. Lola and I are not only advocates for this cause, but also dedicated students who have consistently represented the school with pride in academics and extracurricular activities such as being the mascot, a cheerleader, softball, and basketball player. Lola has also been in various school organizations, including National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, and West Welcome Crew, while maintaining a top 10% throughout her entire high school career. Our commitment to excellence, both in and out of the classroom, reflects the values that Magnolia West High School stands for. By supporting this potential nomination, the school has the opportunity to celebrate diversity, promote equality, and inspire other institutions to embrace change. We look forward to discussing this matter further and hope for a positive response that aligns with equality and inclusivity. Thank you for considering our request and for your commitment to fostering an environment where all students can thrive. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Lola Echols. Okay, thank you. Echols.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lola Echols, and I've been in the MISD district my whole life. As said before, I'm requesting a compromise to run for prom at the same time as my girlfriend in the king position, regardless of my sex, or a third gender-neutral sovereign position. Ultimately, I'm advocating for other LGBTQ+ couples and individuals that don't have the opportunity or the courage to run as their preference in school events. The district and every employee at MWHS should be supportive of the students with the courage to embrace who they are when finding their path during high school. We shouldn't have had to bring the situation to the school board, considering there are no solidified rules for prom that would prevent me from running as king. It is a common practice and tradition for couples to campaign together and to get nominated at the same time in the opposite gender roles. Same-sex couples are protected in school settings by Title IX. Title IX is a federal law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in federally funded educational institutions. Yet we were told by our administration that I cannot run as king or quote-unquote second queen with my partner because of my sex, with absence of guidelines besides tradition. However, we were able to obtain 500 teacher and student signatures to support our nomination request, with the majority being the voting class. We expressed in our grievance process that denying me the chance to run as king or in a third position would be discriminatory since straight couples have the opportunity to run individually with the outcome of a high chance to win together the same night at prom. Since we are homosexual, we have the option to run individually on the basis of our gender, but do not have the same outcome of winning prom night together. Therefore, we do not have the opportunity of the same outcome as straight couples. Our administration misunderstood our goal of equality for LGBTQ+ and non-binary students, unlike the reference schools that considered the situation while keeping an individual campaign and tradition. It was claimed that I could not run for king because of my gender, despite the MISD policy of non-discrimination on the basis of sex, sexual orientation, gender expression, or gender identity. At our third meeting, our administration stated there were no rent requirements for prom besides the comparison to the athletic program and the natural gender categorization of it. However, my male friend Wesley Shanahan was on an all-girls team at the school by choice and with the use of a petition. Therefore, circumstances should be equivalent in all school events like prom. Another point to add in is that I was allowed the male role of Santa Claus in my Christmas play at MES in the first grade. If I'm able to bring a same-sex date, what's the difference in running together? Therefore, this school event within the same district shouldn't have different limitations on how I would prefer to participate. At this time in 2024, we are not the first couple to make this effort. I will be going into depth about a similar experience of another homosexual couple at their prom. There was a success at Kings High School in 2021 where a lesbian couple in an even smaller conservative town won the position of prom queen and king. The school officials stood by it, stating this is solely a Kings High School senior class nomination and voted on initiative. They emphasized the pushback from parents does not represent the views of their classmates. This is a very important point because the support should not only be coming from the people in the class of 2024 at MWHS. If anyone were to be nominated fairly by the popularity vote as their choice of identity, they should be able to run. Not even teachers or admin should be in the equation of the opinion of student votes. At this point in our country, equality and respect has already been achieved in various schools and should be incorporated into all of our school events as well. We hope to see a change for the future of inclusivity at our school events. Thank you.
Okay, our next one is Jessica Winter.
Sorry, I'm nervous. I'm Lola's mom. I'm here today standing with my daughter and her girlfriend, who are both amazing kids. They get exceptional grades. They follow the rules. They're going into the Air Force, both of them. As a parent, I just want my daughter to have the best prom ever. I can't stress it enough. I want them to be able to run as a couple. There should be change. I think we should let the kids decide how their prom, how they want it. If they want prom king and king, prom queen and queen, prom king and queen, I think we should let the kids decide. And I'm just here supporting my daughter and her girlfriend. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is Wendy Eccles.
I am the aunt of Lola. I do not have a speech prepared. I didn't know I would even be speaking until about 6 o'clock this evening. I can say when Lola first approached me with this, brought it to my attention that she was speaking with the principal and stuff, she was very distressed that she could not run for homecoming king. My first question to her was, what do you identify as, a male? And she said no. And I told her, well, I agree, you shouldn't be able to run as homecoming king then, gender role. When I hung up, I agreed to kind of do a little research into it, try to think of something that I thought was fair. And upon so just a simple Google search, there are schools, 2018, Austin High School, right here in Texas, 2020, Westwood High School here in Texas. Moving forward, another one in Florida, New Mexico, even the University of Oklahoma in 2021. And I know that's not many, there's thousands of schools, but there is change coming. that we should offer maybe something such as homecoming monarch, homecoming royalty, just change the title from king and queen to where we can accept couples that are same-sex or couples that are non-binary, the chance to run. Ultimately, I do think the students make the choice. And if the students decide to choose 2 males, 2 females, or 2 non-binaries, let the students decide. They're the ones who get to vote. So I think my only solution to it is to maybe take away the traditional homecoming king and queen and kind of move forward with times and come up with the different roles such as homecoming monarch. Again, those are just some just off a quick Google search I've done while sitting here. Royalty, nobility, and in that I just ask that you guys would take that into consideration. And I want to mention, because I thought it was great, this today started off with Student of the Year. Lola was Student of the Year here also in 2016. I am very proud of my niece. She is Honor Society, has always done very well in Magnolia. So y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Okay, and our last one is Christy Diffie.
Good evening, board members. My name is Christy Diffie. I am Sophia Diffie's stepmother. I'm here to speak on her behalf regarding the issue of prom king and queen nominations. I've had the pleasure and privilege of being a part of Sophia's life for the past 7 years. I'm obviously pretty emotional about her. I've watched her grow into a beautiful, intelligent, strong, and independent woman that she is today. Give me a second. I contemplated speaking this evening because, in full transparency, I consider myself conservative. I believe in most traditional values and gender roles. That's because that's who I am and that's what my upbringing taught me. However, my moral compass points me to love, kindness, compassion, and equality for all human beings, no matter their race, gender, or sexual orientation. It is my understanding that Magnolia ISD is still a conservative school district, and I respect that. I actually like it, and that's why I live here, and I have my son in the school district as well. But what I also respect is those who unapologetically speak their truth about who they are, own who they are, and fight for their right to be treated as an equal. And that is what we're witnessing here this evening with these 2 young women, Lola and Sophia. All they're asking is to be given the opportunity, the same opportunity as straight couples, to participate in a long-held school tradition, something that most teenagers dream of. I don't know what the right answer is, to be honest, but I do think that we need to find a solution that works for everyone. Because let's face it, the times are changing, right? And this won't be the last couple, same-sex couple, to come up here and approach this issue. They're paving the way for other couples to come forward. Their resilient efforts in this journey should be recognized, applauded, and respected. I know that I'm very proud of both of them, and that is why I stand here to share my thoughts with you this evening. Lastly, to close, I would just like to speak to you as a parent to parent and heart to heart. If this was your child, what would you do? What would be your solution? Would you stand here and validate their feelings? So I ask you to reflect on that as you consider how to handle this matter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time tonight. We're going to move on to our consent agenda. And this portion of the agenda consists of items to be routine and enacted by one motion unless we need separate discussion. So is there any questions about any of the issues we've seen in our packet?
Yes. So I see that item D is the approval of deputy assistant and superintendent contract renewals for the 24-25 school year. Is that part of the consent agenda?
Yes.
So my question would be, did we do a review of those as an executive session, those contracts? And in light of Dr. Stevens' resignation, do we want to approve the superintendents without discussing it in executive session, what our strategy is going forward with the deputy superintendents, with the question mark as who the superintendent is? Or do we want to reserve the right for the new superintendent to hire his own assistants? It's just a question. I don't have any experience here, and so that I just would suggest that we might want to talk about it.
I mean, I do think it's a valid point at some point in this deal. It is the traditional time of the year we would approve those contracts. And while we have counsel here with us, and I might just defer that over to Doug, I mean, there's nothing about any kind of procedure moving on that approving assistant superintendent and deputy superintendent contracts would in any way inhibit any future thing that the board has any ideas about in moving forward, because it really almost just becomes perfunctory that those are renewed on a yearly basis. So yeah, it doesn't. And I'm not even so sure, you know, that, you know, if you give me, they have to do anything with those, or any other actions. But it would be my recommendation, and Doug, you just that we go ahead as a board and renew those. Yes. Because of time things, and so for all best purposes, I think it would be best for us to move forward with those on the time frames that some of the, because there are two of them that we're renewing here. So I'm glad we had counsel here for that.
You have any other questions?
No, I just my only thought was that maybe we would want to just think about it, talk about that specific issue, how it relates to the resignation. But if we don't want to, then I mean that's just one of 8 thought.
Well, certainly, I mean, and Todd can comment further. A couple of things. Typically, we don't get involved in the negotiation of those because we do that for the superintendent, and the superintendent is then delegated to do that. We approve it. That's what we're doing. But he's delegated, he or she is delegated to do that for the other contracts. Second thing is, we don't want any lack of overlap. I mean, Todd will be around, we know as of tonight officially, but he'll be around for quite a number of months. And we don't want any gaps in contracts.
I don't think it will not inhibit the board's process in moving forward consideration of any.
Fair enough. And again, I'm just not familiar enough with the process none of us have done this one before, so I just thought it was worth mentioning that, you know, maybe we want to talk about it, and appreciate ability to be flexible later, yeah. No, I appreciate council's input there.
No. Points well taken. Points well
taken.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion we need on the consent agenda? All right, we need a motion that we approve this consent agenda. Motion by Dasha, seconded by Sonia. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, so we got 6 and 1. Motion carries. Okay, we've got a bond update from Mr. Brunner.
I thought you were going to skip me there for a minute.
Not a chance.
Well, good evening. So tonight I'd like to bring you up to date on where we're at with our bond construction projects. We'll start with Audubon Elementary Schools, which is scheduled to open in August. We're moving forward rapidly. We're actually two-siding walls, painting, doing a primer paint coat. We're hanging ceiling grid. We're taking delivery on flooring this week, on casework this week. So this thing's going to come together pretty quickly. You can see a shot of the exterior finishes there. Basically, all we lack is the metal, all the metal trim, and that started today, and then the exterior doors. We fine graded. We got to come in and tie in like the downspouts, and then we'll do sidewalks. But that's sort of the finish work that's kind of teed up for the next few months. You can see again. This is the interior shot where we're doing the two-siding the walls, the drywall installation. You can see the difference with the Durarock down low. That's because we have a wainscot of porcelain tile about 4 feet up the wall. You can see this is a classroom shot. I just walked these again today, and all of these locations that you see here, because I took these pictures last week, they already have a primer coat of paint, and they're putting ceiling grid in, so it's moving quickly. Shot of the cafeteria. The kitchen equipment is going to start next week. The installation of the kitchen equipment is going to start next week, so that one's moving quickly. This project right behind this building is moving at a fast pace as well. You can see a shot. This is exterior waterproofing. Again, these pictures were taken last week. The masonry work is underway. Went back around, today before I came in here, and that wall's already up. And exterior window installation, that's the administration wing. And of course, interior is framing and MEP rough-in. So that project's well ahead of schedule. The junior high is also ahead of schedule. They're basically doing exterior framing and interior masonry work, as well as MEP rough-in, and then there's considerable work. Here's a shot of the fine arts wing. You can see all the MEP rough-in that's going on. It's a shot of the athletics area, and you can see all the interior masonry. Shot of the athletics complex. You can see the football stadium is moving along pretty quickly. It's going to kind of come to a screeching halt here before too long, because we don't want to put the turf down until we get into next year. And that's for the purposes of warranty and exposure. There's no point in putting it down anytime soon. So we'll get it to a point where we'll kind of put a hold on it, get the fencing up, get all the fine grading, all the, we've got to do irrigation around all that area. We'll get this further down the road before we actually install the turf. We also have the two CTE projects. The one at each high school. One's an HVAC related program, and the other is a health related program. And those two projects, it's taken us a while, but we finally got them done. We've got them off to county for permit, and we're pricing them right now. So at the April board meeting, I'll be bringing the prices on those projects. Once they're approved and we get a permit in hand, we'll get those started. Hopefully in May, but certainly by the summer, those projects will be rolling along. That's pretty much your update. If you have any questions.
And just a case in point, what we will be bringing to the board will be everything we talked about and promised committee and the bond pre-work as far as the size and scope of that project.
Yes. Yes, it's the full scope of what we had talked about from the sizing standpoint, and then the programs were developed by our CTE department. And so those those projects are meeting all the expectations of what we had hoped to get out of them. And we're hoping that the pricing will be good. We anticipate they're going to be a little over budget. So we'll be using some of the cost savings from these earlier projects to help cover that. Might be speaking a little early. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll come in. But we did some preliminary pricing and it was a little high.
talked about this once before. The board has sort of been prepped on this, that maybe some of the pricing for what we're looking at, maybe right at that point, even maybe a little, we don't know yet. We're getting some hopefully good numbers on some of it, but we are moving forward with the full project that we had anticipated, and if necessary, we'd use some of the money we've saved in other places to make sure we deliver to our taxpayers what we promised them in the bond as far as the size of those CTE buildings. So
We're also pricing up some ag barn renovations that we anticipate doing the work this summer. And, if everything goes well, having it ready for the fall, show.
just case in point, inflation of those building prices just continue to move up, and so the longer you wait to get out on one, they move forward. So but we're keeping our fingers crossed and doing. And it should be duly noted that while many of us were enjoying spring break this last week, that Mr. Brunner was out snapping pictures of construction process. So let's just make sure that everybody knows that and share that right now. So we appreciate you, Tim.
All right. Anything
Thank you,
else?
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brunner. I did get things backwards, so my apologies, my bad. All right. I don't see any other items on our agenda, whether I've gotten them out of order or not. Do you?
You've done well. No, well, we got him up here, so. He did just as well
The best
out of order.
save the best for last,
That's right.
All right. Anything else?
I'm done.
All right. So now the board is going to recess to move into closed executive session for purposes permitted by A, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney. B, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.072, discussion of purchase, sale, exchange, or value of real property. And C, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel discussion. Thank you. We're back. I need a motion we adjourn this meeting. Motion by Jay, seconded by Sonia. All those in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.